I think we've had enough waiting. I think it's time to get this party started. Welcoming everyone to Season 4 of the Vision Corsa IndyCar Series, here presented by the Prodigy Racing Association. Thomas Cuthbert here, also known as Orion I, to bring you our second race of the season. Let's head right to the schedule. Our second race of the season will be our first oval race of the season. We're headed to Phoenix Raceway to kick off the oval section of the year. Do have a couple of drivers that I think are in the wrong numbers. We'll double check that. There are a couple things, a couple kinks going through that we need to sort through. But of course, for now, we have a pretty good general idea of how things are rolling. Let's meet our drivers. Robert Hensley will be driving the 00. Danny Ray the 08, the number 2, driven by Daniel Dorazzo. Roger Saucier will be in the 7 with Matthew Bird in the 9. Joe Nerton the 10. Marlo Duncan 12, Jimmy Sallow 14, Bob Gangwer 15, Aaron Fontaine the 18, and Adam Miller the 25. Kyle Deckard will step in at the 26, Micah Mixer the 28, Ronnie Roberts the 29, Alex Jones the 45, the Season 2 champion piloting the 45, Guillermo Pere in the 52, the 53 driven by Nick Russell, Nick Polliard in the 55 has just logged in to this race. James Nihas in the 71, Matthias Marcamini in the 77, Jacob Schneider the 81, Austin LeBlanc the 111, Spencer Torrance in the 120, Brad Morath the 384, Paul Boomershine the 925, and Ali Chastain is in the series, but currently not with a set number. Drove the 138, if you remember, at the race at Long Beach. But whether the 138 stays or gets swapped out for something different later on is to be determined at the current moment. Continuing forward, we have the standings, of course, with Micah Mixer at the top of the standings with 48 points. A clean sweep in the Long Beach race. Picked up 48 points there. Spencer Torrance with 42 in that race. You have Matthias Marcamini in 39 points, holding P3. Kyle Deckard in 38. Marlo Duncan with 37. Nick Russell, 36. Nick Pollier, 35. Jones, Sallow, Nerton rounding out the top 10. And then, of course, 11 through 14. You had Nihus, Saucier, and Chastain in 11 through 13. And Aaron Fontaine would take the last points, provisional points, ended up in P14 with 28. And with that, we are about ready to get on the track. We're in the practice session. They've got about 10 or so minutes before that practice session is done. So let's head on to the track. And my heart, that's actually the wrong logo. Please give us a moment as we have a look at our schedule once more. We have Phoenix at the current moment, and Phoenix ought to be a fun time. I'm sure most of you familiar with the way that Phoenix Raceway can be, and generally speaking with the ovals, with the Prodigy Racing Association. They can be a fun time, but it can also be really disastrous depending, especially if you get the field big enough. We have Road America. Milwaukee Mile, and then we go to the Indy section. We always go to Indy before the end of the first half of the season. Then it's Talladega as the All-Star race this time around. We'll go to Mid-Ohio for our newest addition in the road courses. The Iowa Speedway, Detroit, Michigan, the Pocono Raceway, Barber, I think it's Motorsport Raceway, which is getting retired by iRacing very soon. That's going to be funky. And then Michigan. And that rounds out our season. And the date there for February 24th is the date of the first race of the season when we went to Long Beach. We'll get this graphic sorted in a bit. Let's get back to the track, though. This is Marlo Duncan, currently holding third in the practice session and first in my heart. Look at that car. We're going to wait till Duncan gets back out on the track to get a better look at that because I wasn't ready for that. Let me just tell you that right now. So, that's not what I wanted to see. That is Nihus nearly getting plowed into by Mixer, who dodges out of the way, has to go below the apron to do so, and is going to pit as a result. But good dodge on the part of Micah Mixer. Actually, he's just going to take the toe. Valid. This is Alex Jones. Who's that behind you? Is that Aaron Fontaine? Why, yes, it is. Aaron Fontaine with a new livery on display, and it's looking fantastic out there. Got that recently worked on, and I'm telling you, it looks amazing. This is a very recent one, too, for Fontaine. Always rocks the Dr. Pepper. Always puts the stinking frog on it. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you. But also, you're killing me, Smalls. Fontaine got that livery done thanks to the lovely work of the folks over at the Rev Limit Workshop, who are, in fact, a supporter of the Prodigy Racing Association's Vision Corsa IndyCar Series. We thank them, Thomas Coonan especially, for all the work they do, both with deliveries and in the back end of our series here. Thank you so, so much. Sim Racer Hub is the home of the standings for the Vision Corsa IndyCar Series. You ever want to figure out how the drivers are shaping up? Sim Racer Hub is the home there. We have Vision Corsa, of course, the namesake of our IndyCar Series here on Tuesday nights. And we thank them for their support. And, of course, Grid Finder. We love Grid Finder around here. Grid Finder has been especially helpful in getting our name out there. We have an official partnership with Grid Finder, which included a crossover series, the Sunset Bend Street Stock Series, which did come back for another season. And HSW has been helping out plenty as well. Thank you all for all the work that you've done. And, my God, speaking of Vision Corsa, just look at this thing. We'll ignore the logo in the corner for now. Rodney's logo livery just looks great. Now I'm getting confused in myself. But let's stick to the track. Let's have a look at Robert Hensley out there piloting the 00 car. Past the finish line here. Currently holding on to 8th in the practice session. 7 minutes to go in the practice. Oh, and he's out of spin. Not ideal. Yeah, you don't want to spin. So we're going to Nick Polliard for now. Oop, watch behind you. That's Micah Mixer there on the inside. Polliard will go outside. The oval races are a fun part of the IndyCar series, but they can also be pretty dangerous, to say the least. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's get onto the roll bar cam so you can see the speed that these guys are driving. You actually can't see the speed. It's fast. It's really fast, guys. Jimmy Sallow has registered in for today's race, which is what we like to see. Glad Jimmy could make it here. Jimmy, I believe, did not register points. No, did register points. P9 was the final result. James Nye has ended up in P11 in the first race. A bit of a wake-up call for James Nye from what we were discussing. Oh, we don't have the car audio. Let's get to a spot where it's not going to buzz like mad. Okay, good. And let's get that on. My apologies, folks. Let's make sure we can actually hear the stinking cars. Listen to this engine. Guys, these things are loud. In case we forgot. Right now it is Micah Mixer here in second. First place in the practice session belongs to Nihis. It's just letting you know your audio is looping. That's not ideal. Okay, how can we adjust that? What would it be looping from? What exactly do you mean by looping? Because that's weird. That's definitely not supposed to happen. I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Task Manager. Thank you for being front and center, like you always want to be. Thanks, Windows. You can hear my voice twice. Okay. Having ourselves a bit of a test here. Do you still hear me doubled up? Because you shouldn't. Tell you that much. You should not hear me doubled. Better now. Okay, so OBS is freaking out and doesn't know what it's doing, but you know what? This works. I have to go audio input capture the other way. There was no other... Yeah. There was, in fact, no other... where's the video for this? Oh, that's not going to play right now. There was no other freaking... I didn't have the stream open in Chrome and Firefox and anything. No browser had it open. I don't know why it looped like that. It's weird. I don't know. But at least it's better now. And at least I can focus in on the race headed our way soon. We got about 3 minutes left in practice. Some more hiccups to get through, but there's Marlo sitting in the pit lane, helping out in chat. Thank you so much. Also helps out in the back end for this series. Watch the wall. Who's that behind you? Oh, whoever it is. I think it's Jimmy. You're kidding me. Really? I do suppose that could help with something. Okay, it's working now. That's very bizarre. That's really bizarre. Why? What is happening there? This stream has gone like 14 different shades of bad, and I don't know how. I don't know what I did to mess anything up. Hopefully we can get that sorted very, very soon. That should not pop up. It did. What are you doing? What are you doing? Excuse you? Excuse you? Buddy! All right, we're gonna bring this over here. In just a moment, we'll get the driver out there. They'll be able to hear it. Qualifying has begun. Let's wait for our first driver to hit the track. Over Marlo Duncan. Oh, my. Okay. It's fine. We're going. This stream is a mess. I apologize. Marlo Duncan deploying one of the classic strategies that you see in oval qualifying. You want to stay on the outside for your first, for your out lap and your first flying lap, because it's going to be your second flying lap you're really looking for. And then when you crash into the bottom for the whole lap, you've already built up as much speed as you possibly can. Especially because this is a flat-out oval. Almost. First lap on the board is Marlo Duncan's, a 19.177. Will be hers to claim, and currently holds pole position by over 2.5 tenths. This is Kyle Deckard we're having a look at. As more and more times come in. Aaron Fontaine right now in second with a 19.396. Here comes the time for Deckard. Currently a 19.539 is the time. And a 5.44 for Nias. Deckard, of course, still rolling. Still has more to go. And Deckard gets up to second with a 19.355. Pretty good. But Nias overtakes and will bring his qualifying time to a close. Fontaine around the track one more time, trying to get back up. The only part that matters in qualifying now is pole position for the points. Other than that, it's just grid placement. Where do you want to be on the grid? You want to be towards the front, obviously, but, you know, what does that look like? Micah Mixer, a little bit slow on the oval today. 19.784. 19.781, rather, excuse me. Here's Alex Jones. And Micah Mixer ties Marlo Duncan, but the tie breaker goes to Duncan, saying that Duncan was just that little bit faster. James Nias trying to improve on his time. We've had 8 drivers hit the track here for the oval today. Here's Pollard looking to get his first time on the board. Ends up in 9th at the moment. Does have another lap to go, or 2, I believe, to try and improve that time. Didn't know it was 4 laps of quality. I didn't know either. I didn't know. 4? That's not what I was expecting. I was still thinking 3. I didn't know that. Thanks. Improves the time a little bit. Now down to a 6.91. 6.91. I can math. All right, let me actually make sure the microphone is on this one as well. It was not. Let's get that on there. I kind of need that. Very strange that we're having this audio issue today, because it should not have doubled up. So Pollard slowing himself down and coming to a close on his qualifying. Unable to break past 9th position. And it'll come to a stop. Is Hensley going to be on the track? Right now has not hit the track for qualifying yet. The only other driver out there is Sallow alongside Pollard. And that will be the end of qualifying once those two get their laps in. Sallow does have a qualifying lap on the board, a 3.62 at the moment. So we're just waiting on Hensley to hit the track. That's me trying to find Hensley. Hensley's not there. So my guess is Hensley is going to let the timer run, which is annoying, at least for me, but, you know, not my decision. But I also think I don't think, was there anyone else that hit the track? I thought I remembered more than 10. Does not appear so. Having a look at the scenic views of Phoenix Raceway. I've never been on this track in iRacing before. I had to buy it today. But we have it. In Phoenix, Arizona. Hensley disconnected and has reconnected. Okay, good. So hopefully we'll see Hensley on the track. Worst comes to worst, Hensley will start in 10th to start this race, which isn't necessarily that bad given, I mean, yes, it's a small field, but when you're working with a field of 10, that's anyone's race, literally. You cannot take any position for granted when the field is small. It's one of the advantages of actually having a smaller field. There's going to be competition no matter what. Marlo Duncan was an oval queen throughout season 3, and in fact, I believe only beaten out by Schneider after some rough finishes towards the end of the season for Duncan, if memory serves me right. Right now, 3:40 to go before the end of qualifying. Have a look at the map of Phoenix Raceway. See, it's a little bit funky looking. You have like a very standard curve right before the finish line, but turns 1 and 2, it's a little funky. Phoenix Raceway, typically home to NASCAR's championship race, which, I mean, I have my opinions on that, but I will save them for another day. This is where they like to end their season. And it's where we begin our oval season this time around. 6 ovals on the schedule for the... We will take that away. Does this have a track map? What does this track map look like? Does this even have a track map? Allegedly. It's not showing to me. Which is a little annoying. It does. You just showed it. Cool. Where is it? I'm trying to use iRacing TV for the track map instead of what I had before. That was iOverlay that had the funky track map. You said it was working. Looking around. I don't see it. Still working out the kinks of the stream. Sorry about that, folks. Is the position off? No, that's not doing that. I don't think IRTV has a working track map. I thought it did. So, yeah, yeah, so the difference is, do we want to run one with a broken track map that's, like, incorrect? Or just run no track map at all? That's kind of our options here. Because I'm feeling no track map. I think this will be better. Little sad iRacing TV doesn't have a working track map, but, you know, we work with what we have. About to, I got to look at the grid and see. I've tried to get the IRTV track map to work. No cigar. That's unfortunate. And if iOverlays is going to be incorrect, we don't have a track map. And we really don't need one for this because, well, oval racing would have been nice, but, oh well. And it's about time to meet the grid for this race. We actually don't need to change anything. Perfect. It'll be fine to run it without. At least for, yeah, for an oval race, we won't need to worry too much. Let's have a look at that grid, huh? It'll be Marlo Duncan in pole position on a 19.177 alongside Micah Mixer. They tie each other in the time. The advantage goes to Duncan. Niasen Jones will be in row 2 at 2:33, 2:36 finishing times for them. Deckard and Fontaine in row 3, 3:47, 3:55 for them. Then it'll be Jimmy Sallow and Rodney Roberts out on the track for row 4. And we'll wrap up with row 5 of Pollard and Hensley. Hensley will take the final spot due to a lack of qualifying. And we're off. Marlo Duncan will lead the pack in a livery, trying to take my heart and just kind of bounce around, just kind of play with it a little bit. So we got to look at all the cars here hitting the track. The lights are off on the pace car, so we will not have long before we get rolling with some Phoenix Raceway action. In goes the pace car. Show me the lights. Around turn 3 they'll go. Let's get rolling with some green flag racing at Phoenix Raceway. We saw an hour 20 on the clock. It'll be 100 laps to go. With 22nd laps, we're looking at a solid, that's going to be quite a bit of time. 200 seconds. Actually, that's 2,000 seconds. Mixer with a quick move to the inside, looking to get past Duncan. And Mixer already gets an advantage. Mixer going way, way wide, scrapes along the wall. Maybe even taking a little bit of damage there as well, but holds on to it. So Mixer on the inside, Duncan outside. Here's Nias we're on board with now as Duncan's looking for a move. And has gotten alongside of Mixer for now. Trying to make her way around, but right now staying hard on the outside is not yielding the result she's looking for. She'll stay in P2 for now. 100 laps at 20 seconds apiece. A little bit of damage right away. Duncan tried to go to the outside. Taken away was her room and will slide along the wall. No caution flag has come up as the race is still going on, but Duncan losing position after position. Down to 7th already. It's Mixer who will get the lead and is already way ahead. Over half a second ahead of Jones. Now battling with Nias. And Duncan will be heading down pit road, it feels like. And down she'll go into pit road. Already has to burn the quick repair right away. Needs to slow that car down and does just in time. So for now, it's all Mixer. Runs to the outside. Duncan didn't have the room to get by. Loses half her front wing. And for these cars, that is a death sentence on the oval. So has to burn the quick repair now, and will need some good fortune to get back in this race. Finally out of the pits and is already a lap down. Needs a caution to come out at some point this race. We'll stick with a battle for second for now as Nias. Less than 2/10 behind Alex Jones, who is losing speed on Mixer by the lap. And the caution has come out, and that is a perfect reason why. Jimmy Salo and Kyle Deckard have gotten into it. Salo will take the tow. Heads up! And Deckard right now, a sitting duck, heads to pit lane via the tow alongside Jimmy Salo. We got another look at that. We'll go on board with Salo to see exactly what caused this incident. Here was Salo at the moment, headed towards the outside, dodges away from the wall. Deckard 2 cars in front, gets touched. It was Deckard who got bumped in the rear left. We'll run it back one more time, same spot. We'll try to slow this on down. It looks like it's net code on the front right. We'll slow it way, way down here to get a better look and see if contact was properly made with Deckard here. And it doesn't look like it. It looks like Deckard's turning before the wheel touches him. And around he goes, and at that point, it's just too late. So Duncan, a benefactor here, will move her way onto the lead lap here in lap 11. A little bit of frustration for Kyle Deckard. And it looks like has exited the session and will be in P10. As Jimmy Sallow move up to 2 laps down. Duncan now on the lead lap in P8 at the moment. The lights are off on the pace car, so we'll get to go green flag racing very soon. Pace car is off. We've got half the track to go. And we are green flag racing again, and Nias gets an amazing jump right out of the gate. We'll see if that ends up being a penalty. Unsure exactly. Mixer and Nias nearly getting into it with each other, and Nias falling back. Now down to 3rd at the moment. Here's Alex Jones. Off on a good start here. I think we can have a little bit of fun trying to get that sorted. But for now, we will roll on. It is Micah Mixer in the lead, and Marlo Duncan getting by as Nias is going to pit lane. And it looks like it will be for a black flag to be served. Jimmy Sallow trying to get through the traffic here. Couple laps down at the moment. With quite a bit of speed to work with. Fontaine right now in 3rd in these brand new Dr. Pepper livery. Looking to get by Alex Jones and battle for the lead with Mixer. But Mixer has already developed a big lead. About 7/10 now ahead of Jones. Advantage Mixer all the way, but Duncan not giving up on it yet. Another thing about these cars to keep in mind is you don't draft as simply as you do in NASCAR. There's always the concept of dirty air, the reason being with how, and in some way you could say these cars are extremely over-engineered with its aerodynamics, and sometimes the cost of that is getting a draft can be a disadvantage, especially if you're stuck in a turn. So you only really want to get close behind someone like what Duncan's doing with Pollard in the case of a straightaway. And when you're headed for a turn, do exactly what Duncan just did. Duck away, use the speed you gained to get just that little bit ahead of the car now behind you and move on up the standings. So Duncan will move up to 4th. Now chasing down Aaron Fontaine about a 2nd and 2/10 back. Nias coming out of pit lane will be in P9 for now, 4 laps down. So Mixer right now with nobody nearby. over a second in the lead. Alex Jones in second. It's Aaron Fontaine who holds the final podium spot at the moment. Duncan in fourth, chasing down Fontaine, has dropped the gap to 4/10. Pollard, Roberts, Hensley, Salo, Nias, the remaining drivers on the track. Tries to get by Fontaine, needs to be careful. Ended up losing half her wing doing that same move. Just a little bit earlier. This time around it works out. Now is going to go hard to the outside. Has the room to work with, but doesn't have the advantage. And once she ducks to the inside, there's the lead she's looking for on Fontaine. Will take third for now, but Fontaine's not giving it up without a fight. Duncan trying to catch up to Mixer and make this battle interesting in some ways. But for now, it's in an interesting battle already. The battle for second is a fierce one. Jones trying to fend off Duncan and Fontaine. There's over 70 laps remaining in this race. So definitely a chance for things to heat up a little bit as we roll on. As Duncan now within a 1/10 of a second behind Jones. A quick cut to the inside should be enough to get alongside. And he'll look to hold the position going through the turn, and that will do it. And across the line she goes in second, but now has to give up the inside lane, and Jones and her are going to go back and forth. Back to the inside goes Duncan. Another advantage for Marlowe. Now wants to hold it, defends hard on the inside, and this time has control of the position. On board now with Alex Jones. You can see Duncan there to the left. Got to be careful when you've got cars side by side like that at this kind of speed. They make it out okay. But now Jones has this car to worry about. It's one thing to battle for a position with a car ahead of you, but then to defend from the car behind as well can be its own challenge. It's made a little bit easier there as Fontaine ends up clipping the wall. Just a small little bump, and already the gap to Fontaine, half a second. About a third of the way through this race. And now the focus can be if Duncan can catch up to Mixer. But that gap to Mixer is extending even further. 3 seconds and 3/10 is currently the gap. I want to get some numbers. What are these laps looking like? Status. Can I get a flag status as well? Sometimes that matters. There we go. Let's get this in here. Gonna make a quick adjustment real quick. Go get him, Jimmy! Zeri Mills in the chat. Hello, hello, welcome in. Whoa. Come on, work with me here, not against me. No header needed. I want to look at laps. Here's what the laps are looking like right now. As Duncan is heading to pit lane. Oh, has a slide on her way in, trying to get that speed down. We'll wait and see if it was enough. Right now, her time is in the second. Is now dropping in position. Excuse me. She holds the fastest lap at the moment, a 19.415, but Mixer has been cruising around the track. Now he comes to pit lane, and he has a slide, but makes it in. So Alex Jones will take the lead for now, as the first pit stops have come through. Now it'll be Jones into pit. Fontaine will stay out for another lap. We'll have Roberts not too far behind him. Currently in second as Salo's headed towards pit lane, it looks like. Maybe not yet. Remember, you've got half the track to go to get to pit lane. Salo staying hard on the outside, trying to stay out of everyone's way, being the lap traffic at the moment. Mixer and Duncan back out on the track. And the two of them should overtake Jones and Pollard. They move up to third, fourth. And up goes Duncan, up to fourth. Fontaine now goes into pit lane, which leaves Rodney Roberts alone on the track in the lead lap, but he will soon have to change that, as he'll need to step in for some fuel as well. Looking like a two-stop race for these drivers. Roberts still out there here on his first stint. Has not curved into pit lane just yet. Will stay in the lead as long as he can. Don't remember if we've done bonus points for this season, but what I can tell you is Rodney Roberts, if there is a lead a lap bonus point, already secured that long ago. Heads up. Now is Hensley there on the inside, trying to get out of everyone's way. So Roberts, the lone man on the lead lap. Salo could nearly be getting into some. We've got a caution flag coming out. It's Hensley in the pits right now. He's registered as a crash. What exactly happened here? All I see is Hensley, so we'll have a look at what happened with him. Hensley slow on the track. But did this get a caution? Unsure exactly what happened there to bring it out, but this whole thing just kind of got thrown into a mix. Because now Rodney might have to pit under caution, which could actually benefit him quite a bit. Jimmy Salo already looking at pit lane. Roberts will stay out there for now. Salo is into pit. Right now it's Roberts a lap ahead of Mixer, Duncan, Jones, Fontaine, and Pollard. Salo, Nias, and Hensley in the pit lane. About halfway done with this race as Duncan's looking at pit lane. Needs to be careful. There's a car going around the track to get a lap back. Roberts has to be looking at pitting now. Yes? Yes, there he goes. It's Micah Mixer who got the lap. Will loop his way around the track and move into first, but with Roberts in pit lane, all the other drivers are getting their lap back. Although it's a bit of a problem for all the other drivers because Duncan, with Mixer at the back of the pack, the rest of the drivers on the lead lap are in the front. And Duncan will get a wave around. Well, this caution just kind of threw everything into disarray. It's Jimmy Sallow who's going to lead the pack into the green light. And Marlo Duncan now has to slow down, and will be behind Roberts. As the rest of the drivers crash on in, need to be careful here as we slow on down. Nias able to make the stop barely in time, and we're green flag racing. Right as they had to stop, we are go, go, go. It'll be Mixer in the lead with Duncan close behind. And now that the cautions come out, these two might be right on top of each other the entire rest of the way. It's Nias who gains an advantage on Sallow. Alex Jones now fending off Fontaine again. And losing time on Duncan. Halfway through this race, it's Mixer who leads the way. As Duncan just trying to stay with him and get herself a chance at fighting for the win. Welcome in, everyone, to the Vision Corsa IndyCar Series. There's Rodney Roberts going for his pit stop. We're here on our second race of the season. Heads up, a little bit of wall contact there from Fontaine. And right now, as it stands, Mixer in the lead with Duncan close behind. Fontaine battling hard for P3 at the moment. Duncan's gotten by. Duncan and Mixer have gotten by each other. The two of them will trade positions for now. It was Duncan who went for the move from behind. Has the position, but Mixer not letting it go. Stays on the outside and keeps the advantage. Will crash on in. Defends for now. And a little blip on the radar. But Mixer holds for now. There ain't no fuel saving around these parts. Duncan looking for every advantage over Mixer she can find. Approaching 40 laps to go. Right now it stays with Mixer Duncan as the 1-2. The 3-4 of Jones Fontaine remains a close battle. Nick Pollard, the last driver on the lead lap. will stay focused on the battle for the lead. We're on lap 60 now of 100. And Mixer with no sign of giving up this lead. Let's get on board here with Duncan to see what she's seeing, trying to battle with Mixer. But Mixer has already pulled another 1/10 of a second away from Duncan. Lap traffic now could become an issue. And Duncan's getting a bit of time back. A 1/4 of a second now, but it's back up to a 1/3 and more. Around turn 4. Actually, Aaron, I think the track map is correct. Let's bring it on in. There's Salo there on the inside. Around turns 3 and 4. Advantage Mixer, and it will stay that way. We're going to look at the lap times as well. See how these drivers have been holding up as Duncan's headed to pit lane. Get that car slowed down and don't crash into the wall. And does just that. So Duncan will go for her final stop of the race. We'll be banking on there being no more caution flags to come out. Actually, wait, no. No, she wants a caution here. It's Mixer now with the fastest lap time of the race, a 19.398. Duncan's got a ways to go before she can catch up. Is back on the track now. And is a lap down. And what an interesting situation we have here. Duncan is already a lap down and may just go 2 laps down. As we get on board with Mixer, in the distance, there's the light blue. As Marlo Duncan in danger of losing another lap. And will stay on the leader as into pit lane goes Fontaine. You can see Mixer holding 5th gear all the way till the lights are flashing blue right near the red line. And if you will, the red section in the tachometer. Here's Jimmy Salo. We saw one of his fans in the chat. Right now holding on to P7 at the moment, 3 laps down. It looks like Hensley has taken himself out of the race as well, as Roberts will get by and gain a lap on Salo. So I'll have a look and see if there was something. That potentially happened. I don't see anything that popped up. It's Duncan there on the outside. Sal's going to have to be careful. Works out okay. It's okay. Fontaine and Jones back in the battle they were in at the start. A little bit different this time. Jones is yet to pit this second time around, whereas Fontaine has already completed his second stop. Ooh, was looking to the inside. Someone had sped on pit entry. Oh, I think it was Aaron who sped on pit entry. Whip! It was Aaron. Missed if there was a black flag that came out for him. Whip! That's rough. That's rough, buddy. Oh, we can see the tire compound too. That's neat. How about our push to pass as well? None. Ooh, Jimmy, watch it. Jimmy, a little all over the place. Gotta be careful there, buddy. Jones into pit. Micah Mixer now heading to pit lane. Another big slide, but holds on to it. I don't see a black flag coming out from Mixer. So we'll put the push to pass away for now. Cool that we have that, though. Actually, I think I'll keep that on just to have it for later. As Mixer's stint will reset. Duncan trying to get by and gain the advantage on Mixer, who's in pit lane for now. Advantage Marlowe. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. It's not set in stone just yet. Mixer's come out on top with a 1.3 second lead on Duncan. But now Mixer, having just come out with fresh fuel, hopes to have calculated it perfectly. Duncan gaining just a little bit, the gap down to a second. The only reason you can't see it is because this man in front, Pollard, is not pitted on his second stint. On lap 40 of this stint. The white and flag has come out from Mixer, and Pollard ends up in a slide. The black and white flag out for Mixer. Wonder how that happened. Okay, we have too many things going on. There are too many things. I don't even think, actually, I don't think we need push to pass. Take out tire compound. Okay, you know what? So here's what we're gonna do. I usually like having the laps so we get a better picture of like how the drivers are gaining and whatnot. We have that. We have the relative already up there. Let's get those out of here. The black flag stays, of course. Here's all the pit timers. You're going to see Hensley and Deckards go up. They are out of the race at the moment. We're down to 17 to go with Duncan losing time on Mixer big time. The gap now 2.3 seconds. Here's the stints as well. I think this will be good. Micah Mixer with 15 to go. Just has to hold on for dear life. Must have been a slowdown for a track cut, but has already served it with a conservative lap taking. It's just him, Duncan, and Jones on the lead lap. And right now, Mixer, without a sight of competition anywhere. There'd have to be a caution to come out to maybe bring this back down. But right now, Mixer just looking to stay clean. Elsewhere, you've got Jones out there. There is Pollard near the back of Duncan. And just holding on as best as he can. We're going to put that away. It's all race now. Jones getting close to Duncan. Has to get by Pollard, of course, the lap traffic in this regard. But this is the man we'll keep our eye on. We've got 10 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. Just has to get by Jimmy Sallow with no problems in the books as Roberts will go into pit. Sallow will move up to 7th and get out of Mixer's way. And Mixer continues to gain on Duncan. The gap now almost 4.5 seconds. No more push to pass. No need to worry about the tires. The stints, who cares? The only part that's going to matter is with 8 laps to go. It is Micah Mixer with no one close. As down goes Sallow below the apron, we'll head to pit lane one last time. And it's a valiant effort from Duncan, but needs a mess up from Micah Mixer and needs a caution bad. Five laps remaining as Micah crosses the line. 5 seconds is the gap on Marlo Duncan. With about 1:40 to go before Mixer can claim victory. It was a clean sweep at Long Beach. Duncan headed into this with a brand new livery and trying to refresh her mindset. Was an oval queen in season 3. But was beat out by Jacob Schneider throughout the course of the oval races. Some rough finishes towards the end undid her time at the top of the oval mountain. And now Micah Mixer, after a late join in season 3, is down to 2 laps to go before he claims the checkered flag. Get on up in the sky as we have a look at Micah Mixer. One last deal of Sallow. We'll go to his inside, who will let him by nice and easy. Raise that white flag. It's the final lap at Phoenix Raceway. And Micah Mixer amassing a dominant 6-second lead over Marlo Duncan. Rounds turns 3 and 4. 2 races in, 2 victories. Micah Mixer, your winner at Phoenix Raceway. It'll be Duncan and Jones who will take the 2-3. And as they cross the line, the rest of the grid will go Pollard, Fontaine, Nias, Roberts, Sallow. Hensley and Deckard will take 9th and 10th. And who cares about the track cut? It matters no more. Your winner is Micah Mixer, who will stay on the track to head to victory lane. Pollard, get out of the way. Here come the donuts. This is Micah Mixer. here in Season 4. 1 road course victory and 1 oval victory. Calculated the pit time perfectly to stay just enough ahead of Duncan heading out of his final stop. And Duncan will have to settle for the second place spot, as Duncan will now head to pit lane and call it a day. That's all here for the Vision Corsa IndyCar Series. It's week 2 that is wrapped on up. We go now to our second. But first, Mixer will take to the podium. I didn't actually know you could do this. That's really cool. On victory lane goes Mixer. And a goodbye to all of you from Phoenix Raceway. I'm Thomas Cuff.